when you have the ball, you know you're in charge, and just a physical object is a sort of a manifestation of your own importance at that moment in time within the game. Although if you're playing with a phantom ball, the fact that it's not physically there means that you don't have that sort of that object to attach to your own feeling of heightened importance at that moment in time, and thus maybe that means that you're more aware of the other people within the game, because you're not so wrapped up with, okay, I've got the ball, I need to bounce it and do some fancy things with it to show off, and you're more aware of, okay, so what would I, within this moment, what is the best thing to do with the ball for my team, rather than what can I do with the ball right now to be looking good.
This allows you to move without the ball, create space for yourself and for other people as well. If you go and make a screen for Ryan, then he moves and he's got that space, and the guy who passed the ball to him, he's free, he can take that shot and contested shot. Whereas if we play with the ball, everyone just gets the ball, they do their own thing, they drive to the basket or something, and there's 4 or 5 people around him and he can't do anything.
You get constantly different situations that you're not used to, whereas this is something we're also not used to. So it helps us translate into the game of just being uncomfortable and getting used to that feeling of being uncomfortable while playing the game.
A lot of the time you were super focused and you'd accept. There was no like, nah, not having that. It was like, yeah, okay, I'll take that. Somebody would throw something in and you'd be like, fuck it, whatever. Which is actually really nice, because to me that makes sense, that that's kind of the game. Regardless of whether it's like basket or whatever, it's a game, it's an improvisation. It flows, and there's no sort of like, oh no, I'm not going to agree with this. It's like, no, we're going with it.
Like you said, taking the ball away, but also taking away the stigma of this is a weakness. Not having the ball in your hand is a weakness. Like for example, some of our players are complaining about not having the ball. It's like, we can't win the game without you. And even if you don't touch the ball, we still can't win the game without you. 5 players on the floor, however many we need on the bench, and your position, your spacing, put a defender in a certain place. The amount of times I run up and down the floor and I don't score, but without the ball, you just cut through, and that creates the lane for the drive. You see a pick and roll, you'll be like, ooh, my defender needs to go over here first. And then that defender's late on help because he's the only one left on the help on the roll. These little things, playing without the ball, when you start to understand that, and how many times you set a screen and a guy goes by and scores and everyone's celebrating because he scored. Who's celebrating because you set the screen? Without your screen, that's not happening.
I don't have an object, so I can't focus on the object. All I have to focus on is the other person, and like all the little
you have to read the
And the minute I can tell that their concentration is gone because something has relaxed too much, or they've forgotten where they're from. I mean,
because if you're on the same level, like body-wise, then you start to be, it's a psychological game, and you start to read energy, and you start to read, little things.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to sort of give up part of your conscious mind and processing of the event, so that you can let your subconscious and the environment have more control over what you're deciding to do. So your agency almost expands to include sort of the other people in the group. Reduce the importance of an individual's sense of agency within a social environment, so that the team can collaborate and work better together.
We can collaboratively agree on those rules in a more consensual and egalitarian and less destructive capacity, so that we're not all caught within this, really difficult logic of destructive competitive advantage. So the thing that gives you the opportunity is the, resistance to other kind of points of view, or the destruction of those kind of points of view.
The presence of the ball is just so much more concrete. You've got like one less thing to think about because you've trained with it so much. You don't think about the ball, you just interact with it. So taking the ball away makes it a lot harder, not because you don't know where the ball is, but because you've got an extra layer of attention that you're actually processing. which
Yeah,
makes
it's
sense.
more intense. It's more intense.
Yeah, and you can see it in how quickly you get tired when you're not playing with the ball.
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah, because you're using more energy. But I know when I'm playing without the ball, I'm like, there's nothing there. But I'm just like, yeah, because I'm looking at his hands, for example. Like, okay, he's still got the ball.
You have to see the ball. Every time you see even a small ball, when you have something in your hand and you're gonna throw it, you imagine they had crowd 9 seconds all the time. Doesn't matter what you're doing, like what you got. Even if you are standing like this and just show, you always think, oh, this is the last shot. Look at his faces.
Throw 3-pointers, 9 times out of 10 you get them in. But say if LeBron James walks in the room, you might suddenly be overthinking this action that's just so natural to you, but because you're overthinking it, you're not able to do the natural action that you usually do in a more calm and relaxed state, and thus you may only get sort of 6 or 7 out of 10.
Séptima raza y yo, ponme una mano en el